Did you know that high blood pressure puts you at risk for heart disease and stroke? The two biggest causes of mortality in the United States. And that it affects approximately 116 million adults in the country, or about half of the whole population. The situation is so grim that in 2020, hypertension was cited as contributing to approximately 670,000 deaths in the United States. But how do you prevent hypertension? Well, you can start by making healthy dietary changes. In today's video, we've compiled a list of harmful foods that put you one step closer to high blood pressure. So let's get started. Number 1. It's time to cut back on your salt consumption. There's no denying that sodium is essential, but the common table salt is dangerous to your health. The average American consumes more than 32,000 milligrams of salt daily, approximately 7 times the amount needed by the body. This higher sodium intake causes water retention because it increases blood flow in your blood vessels and arteries, which in turn raises your blood pressure. In contrast, a low-salt diet has been associated with lower blood pressure and decreased cardiovascular morbidity and mortality. A diet high in salt or consuming more than 5 grams of sodium per day has been proven to significantly contribute to the onset of hypertension and cardiovascular problems. Pre-packaged and ultra-processed foods, which are tasty, quick, and easy and frequently used as alternatives for wholesome meals in the American diet, account for the majority of the sodium intake. These meals include bread rolls, pizza, sandwiches, burritos, hamburgers, and tacos. Although sugars are your body's main source of energy, eating too much of anything is not a good idea. The concentrations of systolic free calcium are markedly increased by high sugar. Hypertension is a result of intercellular fluid in the vascular muscles pressing against the blood vessels. Weight gain may also be related to the increase in blood pressure brought on by consuming more sugar. According to all available information, a diet high in sugar frequently causes an unneeded weight gain that eventually results in obesity, which can negatively impact metabolism over the long term. And if your body's metabolism is impacted, you won't be able to use sugar for energy, and more of it will circulate throughout the body. This could raise blood pressure and put you at risk for diabetes and cardiovascular disease, so avoiding sweetened beverages, energy drinks, and high-sugar foods would be better. Stop bathing pancakes in syrup and thinking you're eating a healthy meal. Red meats come from non-avian mammals and get their name from the color of raw beef. Red meat includes goat, boar, lamb, venison, and hog. Red meat consumption has been associated with hypertension. Initially, scientists were unsure of the cause of this connection because there were no conclusive explanations, but in recent years, discoveries have solved this puzzle and revealed carnitine, an important component of red meat that is responsible for raising blood pressure. The more red the meat, the more carnitine it contains. With about 160 milligrams of carnitine per 4-ounce serving, beef has the highest carnitine content, followed by pig, which has 81 milligrams per 3-ounce dish. Another factor contributing to hypertension is excessive alcohol consumption. If you want to live a long time in this world, you must avoid excessive drinking and live healthier. Worldwide, complaints of elevated blood pressure are caused by alcohol to some extent. Studies have frequently linked excessive alcohol use to an increased risk of hypertension development. One study that focused on people with a drinking habit and hypertension difficulties demonstrated that when a person cut back on their daily alcohol intake, their blood pressure significantly fell and their risk of cardiovascular consequences decreased. It was observed that alcohol eliminated pharmacological interactions and rendered high blood pressure drugs administered to patients ineffective. Alcohol also causes weight gain. You've probably noticed that drinking makes your cravings worse and causes you to eat more than usual. In addition, drinking has a lot of calories. You will consume a significant amount of calories from alcohol when combined with your regular dietary intake because 1 gram of alcohol contains 7 calories. If this pattern persists, it is obvious that you will gain too much weight because, as we know, obesity is associated with an increased risk of cardiovascular disease, diabetes, and hypertension. Therefore, excessive alcohol consumption will raise your blood pressure and push you toward these conditions. Consuming saturated fats is still another dangerous factor. People who want to prevent or lower their blood pressure should try to limit their consumption of saturated fats. Based on scientific evidence, saturated fat consumption may be the cause of high blood pressure. Increased ingestion of saturated fat causes the endothelial function to be reduced, which in turn raises blood pressure by maintaining bodily fluidity. Do you know where saturated fats come from? Animal-based products such as red meat, butter, and chicken skin. You should switch to monounsaturated and polyunsaturated fatty acids, which are primarily found in plant-based foods such as nuts, seeds, olive oil, and avocados. Additionally, saturated fats also increase the LDL bad cholesterol in the bloodstream, resulting in an easy buildup of deposits that over time develop into plaque and can cause serious cardiovascular issues. Lastly, pre-packaged and ultra-processed foods should be avoided at all times. Pre-packaged foods include the majority of sugar, sodium, saturated fats, trans fats, and additives. Even though such prepared meals made of meat and veggies look quite alluring, you should reconsider your options. Before adding these items to your cart, check the labels and look for those with low sodium and sugar content. The same is true for condiments like ketchup, soy sauce, chili sauce, and salad dressings, which frequently contain high amounts of sugar and salt. The majority of products that are low in sodium will advertise as such on the labels. Studies have demonstrated that eating highly processed foods causes weight gain and obesity, which are recognized to be substantial risk factors for hypertension and cardiovascular disease. Your sympathetic nervous system is activated by obesity, and your body speeds up its normal processes in response. Your body is then instructed by your brain to pump more blood and beat faster, which puts undue pressure on your blood vessels and raises your blood pressure. In addition to this, obesity increases salt retention. In this fast-paced world, it is important to prioritize your health. To stay as far away from the silent killer hypertension as possible, you must make changes to your regular diet and add nutrient-rich foods to your meals. It would be preferable to stay away from such food items entirely and choose healthy alternatives cooked at home. Put your health first and steer clear of the previously mentioned foods at all costs. I hope that you have found some value in this video. Please like and subscribe. That's all for now. Let us know in the comments below which things you are cutting out of your diet. Stay healthy.